Hey everyone, today I've got your Us movie review. A family goes on a vacation only to be terrorized by evil alternate versions of themselves. So as far as the story goes, Jordan Peele directs his second suspenseful horror after the Oscar-winning Get Out. And I was really looking forward to seeing this movie just because I was a huge fan of Get Out. It definitely earned a perfect score from me, and with this movie, I definitely see that same consistency as far as the horror and suspenseful aspect goes. I mean, you've got the first half of the movie that I was really on the edge of my seat because of all of the horror and suspense that was going on. I mean, at first I was like, what is going on with this one girl who is going to some kind of amusement park, and then apparently it's looking like something's happened to her, and something definitely triggered her, which is why then all of a sudden all of these bad things start to happen. She gets really worried, especially when she has a family to raise. And this movie really gave me Sixth Sense and Inception vibes, especially when it has an ending you probably won't see coming, because I definitely did not see it coming, and I wasn't willing to predict what was all going to happen because I wanted to see everything that was going to happen and just absorb certain subliminal messages and the imagery that Jordan Peele added to this movie, because it was set during the 80s and then it goes into modern day, and it may also leave you scratching your head and thinking, what did I just watch? But it definitely has the stranger's home invasion aspect to it that really was the most skin-crawling part of the movie. But what made it even crazier was the dual identities that everybody in this family seemed to have. And I guess the message that Jordan Peele was trying to send here was the reason why all of this was happening was because everyone was supposed to face their demons. And I actually just read this. He did say that in an interview, and so I was like, yes, we're on the same page here. As far as the casting goes, you've got Lupita Nyong'o, who I really think did a great job in this movie, and I already thought she was a great actress because, I mean, she's an Academy Award winner, but her being in this movie, sort of being the matriarch of this family, and I really loved seeing her as well in her dual role, where her, like, evil self is just absolutely off the wall crazy. And I really felt like between her and the rest of her family, all those actors really disappeared in their roles. So it made it really convincing to watch them on screen. You've got Winston Duke, who plays her husband. I really liked how he sort of embodies this, like, modern day dad, and he's really got that whole look going on, and I think he does a great job. He's even funny, and even the child actors in this movie were also really good to watch. And I saw some B-roll footage a few days ago of this movie, and just seeing the direction that Jordan Peele had on all of his actors, I thought, especially with the child actors, it was all just really well done and well choreographed. I really did also like how some of the kids had some funny moments on screen too. It was really comical, but it was also just pretty cool to watch them in these terrifying scenarios. And even Elizabeth Moss was awesome to watch on screen too. I mean, if you've been a fan of Handmaid's Tale, you know how far she can take her characters. The things that I liked about this movie was that it really was scary. I mean, I honestly didn't know what to expect half of the time. There were many times when I felt like closing my eyes or screaming, because there are just some terrifying things that I'm just like, they just jump out at you, but it's not like a typical jump scare. And I think it really helps when there isn't a lot of musical score in this movie, but when some of those musical moments come on screen, it's either something that fits or something that you just wouldn't expect to hear. And I also felt like turning away a couple times because it was just really just crazy to watch how far this movie was sort of pushing the envelope with some of the scare tactics. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that the third act felt like it was all over the place. See, there's a difference between you know, that consistency with the first act and how well it flowed, but then by the end of the movie, it really felt like disjointed sometimes, especially using certain imagery that I kind of felt like didn't really make sense to me, and it just sort of felt, I don't know, confusing at times, and I didn't really know if, like, any of it was supposed to make sense at all, which is why I sort of felt like it was sort of Inception-like, because it made you think, which is not really a bad thing, because I would want to see this movie again, even if some things were kind of odd. So overall, I would say that Us is still a pretty fantastic movie, and I would definitely recommend checking it out, whether you have seen Get Out or are kind of debating whether or not to see this. I still think it is a pretty well done film nonetheless. So I would give this 4.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Us. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.